Hello and welcome to the live streaming of the Red Noses International. Just a quick background, Red Noses International is a very large healthcare organization, active in 11 countries with over 450 clowns, bringing joy to children who are in the hospital, to the elderly, and to people in emergency situations across the world. My name is Scott Whitmer, and I am a regional artistic director in Vienna, Austria. And I'm here with Giora Seeliger. Giora is the artistic director and founder of Red Noses International. He is also an actor, he is a director, he has taught for 20 years in the National Conservatory of Drama, the Max Reinhardt Seminar in Vienna, and he is joining us today from his home. Giora, welcome.
Hello and welcome.
Giora, we've been asked today to talk about the clown character. Tell me, from your personal experience, how did you discover your own personal clown character?
Well, this is always a mixture of a lot of little biographical pics, you know. So for sure, they called me already the clown in my classroom, all right? I was always the one who giving the funny lines, you know, to make everybody have a good laugh, in spite of what the teachers were thinking. So when I was young, we played also a lot of sketches, etc. in our youth group. I was in a youth group where we also used to perform a lot. And later on, little plays, even of 1.5 hours, etc., etc. So I always enjoyed that. Then finally, when I was then a young adult, 22, 23, 22, I started to take workshops, classes in theater, mime, and etc. And then later, I went to Paris to Decroux first, and then to Jacques Lecoq, where this is specifically one of the goals, to teach you to be an authentic, not only clown, to be an authentic actor. So to have this simplicity and at the same time multiplicity as an actor should have.
Let's go to the authentic, Giora. What does it mean for you to be an authentic clown?
Well, as I mentioned, Lecoq School, one famous sentence, which is by now promoted by all former Lecoq students, is to find your own clown. So the clown was only one part, by the way, of the whole curriculum of Lecoq School. It was only the kind of last 6 weeks. But what does it mean to find your own clown? Which means it's a character which should fit you as a glove. And which means also, I mean, there is something which is true as much as I was teaching, like you mentioned, in theater and theater schools. For an actor, it's always both is true, which means it's me and it's not me. I have to be, and both is true. So you have to find a character which is maybe not you, which is alienated from your own character, personality, but has a lot of traits which are in common. But even though as an actor or as a clown, you do things you wouldn't do in normal life. As an actor, maybe you have to kill Caesar, but you wouldn't kill in private life. So as a clown, eventually you go deeper and more in your deepest research of the what you call in French la bêtise humaine. So this is the human incapacity, the human stupidity. So in this way, you give a lot of your own authenticity, which means you have to be ready that people, you have to find your vulnerable places, your spots, and very often with the help of the teacher. And these vulnerable moments, you have to be ready to share. And you have to be ready that people might laugh about it because it's so human that it's touching for them that you are so vulnerable. So,
tell us, Giora, Tell us one or two of your vulnerabilities that are visible when you are in your clown character.
Well, my belly, you know, I'm not that slim anymore. So yeah, so it's something by now I stick out, you know. If I'm really in this clown character, I emphasize my size, my belly size. That's something, and then yes, like everyone, sometimes you're timid, you know, in front of a situation you don't know how to continue, or you're impatient, and so you don't know what to do, you know. You don't know if you have to wait or to do something, and so this is.
So I understand, Giora, that you, in your innermost sense, do you feel like you're a timid person? Because, I mean, you're the artistic director of a huge healthcare organization. Doesn't really sound timid. I mean, you've been giving workshops, clown workshops for years. You are a well-known actor. Are you really timid?
It depends when and where and in front of whom. Yes, then yeah, it can happen. So it's not that I'm not used to stand up in front of a huge audience or something, or to play on stage. But at the same time, in a very intimate moment, with very intimate questions, or yeah, sure, I might be embarrassed.
Nice. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah, sure.
So, Giora, has your clown character developed over the years?
Well, it depends, because I wasn't in my early career. I was playing more on stage, so there the development was more obvious. Even though I was never playing really a clown with a red nose, even though it was a funny character, but it was inside a story. So it was various characters, also Buffon more oriented characters, but there were characters, and it was a whole play of about an hour and a half. So development was also inside a play, like usually. Okay. So yes, you develop in terms of that you have more varieties to offer to all kind of different emotions, because I think that completes a character of a clown and an actor, that he has, especially of a clown character. Let's say an actor there is something different, but as a clown character, yes, you can widen your emotions and the reactions. Yes.
Now, as your character has changed over the year, your clown character, what has it taught you? What has your clown character taught you?
To wait, to be patient, not to be too hasty, to do one thing after another. Even though I think I'm well known for my impatience, and I feel sometimes how impatient I am, but then I start to dialogue with my clown, and so there you can learn something about it. You know, you can learn also about these moments where you feel embarrassed in front of an audience, or something happened to you for a little mistake, a little accident, and that you can. I think I have learned to take it, to accept it. So because even then to laugh together with my audience about a little slip, because I think that can happen, and that makes sometimes an interview even more human.
So just to be clear, this learning from your clown, for example, how to be patient, is this something you can apply in the rest of your life, or is it basically on stage?
Well, this is true for me. Other people and other clowns, maybe their character trait is being very impatient and being very in need of answers, and it might be funny. Like every clown, you have to learn about the opposite. You know, if your character is somebody actually very full of energy and you want to have answers every time, then you will have to learn that there are moments that there are no answers and how to react on it. Okay, but on the other hand, if you are a character which evokes a reaction from the other side rather than to always promote actions or reactions. Yeah, there you have to learn sometimes also to be impatient in order to make the patience even bigger. You know?
It sounds really nice.
Yeah.
Let me ask you another question. We've talked about you now and your own personal clown character. What have you learned about other clown characters that you've through your teaching?
Well, some of them are out of reach for me. Some of them are fantastic. We have these people who are really gifted by God with a great natural talent. It's very unfair. I don't know who distributed this, but it's like this. I have to admit, some people really have a great talent, a natural talent. They can learn very fast. They give a lot. So what I've learned watching these people is to be in your skin, to be as natural as possible, to react really on the spot, to try to kick out your inner director, to try to kick out your inner criticism. Yes, to enjoy the moment. A big phrase, we know, but I think it's at the same time you might be immobile and calm, but at the same time your antennas are 360 degrees open. But at the same time you receive a lot. And I think this is important, that in the speed, whatever you have, even if you are a very high speed, high energetic clown, you still have to learn this moment to read the circumstances, to read the situations, to read people in front of you, in order to do something with it. Mm-hmm.
So, Giora, you have hundreds of clowns. You've taught in the Reinhardt seminar. You taught clowning to actors, and you've also taught clowning to healthcare clowns. Do you need to be a superstar to become a good clown, or what tips can you give someone who just wants to discover their clown?
Well, it's like with everything. If you want to run in the forest, it's very good for you. It's very good for you, and it's good for your health, and it's good. So I think doing your steps in clowning, it's good for you. It will teach you a lot. Then if you want to step further on and you want to stand up in front of an audience, and if this audience had to pay a ticket, you better have to acknowledge this kind of reference, you know. So you have really to offer something so that people enjoy watching you, you know, and they enjoy having paid the ticket. I'm sorry to have this stupid allegation, but it's not for free usually, theater. You know? So people do share this moment because they want to share, because they paid the ticket and they want to share, and they want to be convinced, and they want to be and they want to with the clown especially, they want to enjoy that moment. I think they come to enjoy a good time together, you know, to learn something, to see something very, very analog to his own life, but also just to be thrilled by the amount of stupidity a clown and a human being can have. And I think that's the next step, you know. And then if you want to make a career, you even have to go on and you have to see what is happening internationally. You have to go, like any other artist, you have to go into the museums, you have to watch others, you have to learn, to understand, to compare. You have to go on, you have to follow your path, but you have to also see what's happening in the rest of the world. So it depends where you are.
3 steps to becoming an internationally well-known clown. First
Yes.
step, do it for fun.
Enjoy, do it for fun.
Give the audience what they're paying for.
Yes.
And the third step, go international. Do I get it right?
Go international. Go look around. Go look around what's happening. You know, go look around if this is what is. There's so many in every art. There's always moments of renewing, of questioning, of pushing new boundaries, and then you want to be part of it. Or
Right.
you want to say, I'm very old-fashioned, I want to do this, and hopefully you have a lot of success.
Giora, let's change the focus just a little bit. We've been talking now about clowning in general. Now let's talk more about healthcare clowning.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see a difference between circus clowning or stage performing clowning and healthcare clowning?
Yep. Like always, yes and no. But yes. I think as a healthcare clown, you always have to be ready to give up any notions of a performer, of a performing moment. Anything can break your performance at any time, and you're pushed back to reality. There might be peeping machines. All of a sudden, people come in seriously with serious concerns, etc., etc. So you always have to be ready to be on the other side, which is the reality, which you for a while kind of left together with your audience and to go on a clown path. But you have to be ready to put that immediately into another state of alertness. And I think that's a big difference. And then for sure, to the opposite of the stage performer, where you have an audience, an anonymous audience who have paid a ticket. Here you have a not an anonymous audience. You know very often the people, and even if you don't know, you've heard about them, you know their names, and you try immediately to contact on the most personal level somehow, you know. So immediately there is a much stronger connection than on any stage, you know, not to talk about circus. So here there's a big difference, which then needs the exact dosage, you know, the doses of empathy. You have to feel what is right for the moment. How much can I dare? How much even should I dare? And how much I have to break a little bit, not to be too dairy. This is have to be decided in a sequence of a second. You have to train these kind of antennas. You have to train this kind of empathy. You have to train this kind of well guiding a hospital situation.
Another difference occurs to me, Giora, which is that in the theater, of course, people who want to see a clown, they buy a ticket, and they decide to go visit the clown. And in the hospital setting, you might just get a knock on the door, and you maybe didn't know that you wanted to see a clown, and suddenly a little clown nose pops through the door and says, "Would it be okay if I visited you?" Do you think this plays a role too?
Sure. And these first couple of seconds, they will decide the rest of this little performance or little session. It's always the beginning, especially if there is somebody you don't know. It is a first kind of contact. It's the first seconds decide. Either you simply ask if you can come in, or you do it in another way than just asking. But this gives you, this is the moment of permission, of mutual permission to be together. So usually the clown likes to come, loves to come in, and but then you have to feel how much you are invited, how much you are wanted, and even if this question is answered with a yes, if you ask if you are allowed to come in, it doesn't mean yes necessarily. It might be just a convention to say yes. So you still have to feel what is your space, how much you are really invited, how much they open up for you. When is it you really find a bridge between you and your performing audience, because they are also performing with you. Perform together. I think that's much more than any other place.
Giora, one last question before we wrap things up today. You talk a lot about getting in contact with someone and establishing a relationship with someone, getting the yes, a mutual invitation, right? Well, in these days with COVID, things might be a little bit different, right? What does your clown have to say to this whole social distancing experience that we're going through right now as a globe?
It's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it's horrible. It's like, I don't know, eating a sweet with the paper around, you know.
Okay.
It will never be the same. Our live performances are our strength. Well, for sure we adapt, and for sure we find new ways, and for sure I think we can also have our little successes here and there. But I think it will never replace, and I'm so proud of that. I think it will never replace a really authentic live connection and encounter. And I think that's something why the clown character and his performance are so irreplaceable, because you have to feel it, you have to see it. The eye of a spectator is much more subjective than the camera lens of any video or whatever, you know. It's more objective, and but life is not objective. Life is subjective. So people see what they want to see. People prefer to look in some places and not in others, and so yes, we adapt. We try our best. We have to, because we don't want to leave people alone. We still want to be with them, but like I said, it's chewing candies with a paper, but we do our best.
Well, Giora, unfortunately, we have to chew candy with the paper again, because if you were here in the same room as me, I would, of course, extend my hand for a handshake. But since we're in two different places, I'll just have to settle for a thank you very much on behalf of Red Noses International for this very interesting conversation. I look forward to seeing you live again sometime soon.
Yes, please, soon. Okay, like everyone else who listened.
Thank you, Giora. Have a nice afternoon.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.